So last weekend on Sunday night, the Dallas Cowboys losing to the 49ers in pretty convincing fashion. I don't think the Niners are a great football team. Obviously, they're only 4-4. They still don't have McCaffrey, but Brock Purdy played very well. And I thought the Cowboys would win that game. I actually thought Dallas would be able to take advantage of an injured 49ers team, but Dak Prescott, clearly there is an intimidation factor there. I don't think Dak has ever beaten the 49ers, at least he hasn't this decade. Maybe before they got Garoppolo, he beat them, but the Niners seem to have Dallas's number, and maybe it's a Shanahan thing. Dallas continues to suffer without a run game. Dak is just floundering, and I hate to say it's not. Dak deserves blame. When I say Dak needs a run game, I'm not saying like, man, I feel bad for him. It's not that he needs it. He actually is not a good quarterback when he doesn't have a strong run game. He makes mistakes. You see the mistakes. He's throwing interceptions. He turns the ball over. He thinks he has to do too much. But this is what Dak has always been, right? We've seen him for 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is his ninth year in the league, and he still can't play well without a run game. That is on him at this point. Like, he has to be able to win a game when his team can't run the ball. And the fact that he can't, that says something about him, right? That's incriminating on Dak Prescott. It's not the other way around. So when I say Dak is floundering, I don't feel bad for him. He's had 9 years to figure it out. He still hasn't. The Niners started slow but had a great third quarter, and it looked like the game was wrapped up. To their credit, Dallas did fight back. They fought. They were down by 17, and they ended up losing by 6. And they had a chance to win it on the last drive. And of course, Dak threw an interception on the last drive, and didn't work out for them. Dallas is not a playoff team. They're not. They are probably closer to a 7-10 football team. I mean, looking at their schedule, they already have 4 losses. They've only played 7 games because they've had the bye. They still have to play Philadelphia twice. They still have to play the Washington Commanders twice. Best case scenario, they win. They split, I think, those games. They also have to play the Falcons, who are 5-3, the Texans, who are 6-3, the Bengals 3-5, but I think they're a good team. Tampa Bay will be tough as well. So Dallas they don't have a whole lot of layups left on this schedule. They have the Giants, and that's pretty much the only layup left. All the rest of their games are going to be tough. So even if they split the rest of their games and beat the Giants, that would put them as an 8-9 football team. And I think there's a chance they don't even split. I don't know if they split the rest of their games. I think that might be best case scenario between Philly twice, Washington twice, Houston, Atlanta, Tampa Bay, and Cincinnati. Those 8 games, I think the best case scenario is probably you beat Cincinnati, you beat Atlanta, and you split with Philly and the Commanders, probably lose to the Texans. I know they just lost to the Jets, but I think the Texans are pretty clearly the better team than Dallas, and probably lose to Tampa. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they can beat Tampa. Depends on, but Baker Mayfield, he's balling out, and Dak is not balling out. So, yeah, it's a rough season for Dallas. San Francisco, meanwhile, they're in a hard-fought race for that division, man. Cardinals, Rams, Seahawks, they're all 4 of those teams could win the division. Niners, of course, have the win over Seattle, but they lost to the Cardinals. So we'll see what happens with them. But, they're still in the mix at 4-4, and Brock Purdy continues to... I thought he played well against Dallas. And again, he's still missing weapons. I've said it before. I think the media is very unfair to Brock Purdy, and I say that as a Seahawks fan. I think the media is unfair to him. That's just my opinion on the matter with Brock Purdy. I think he doesn't get enough credit for what he does, and the minute he loses weapons, it's always taking away credit from him, and I feel like it's impossible to ask him to win all these games when he's missing Debo and Ayuk and CMC. He's finding ways to play well. And granted, Dallas, I don't think Dallas is that good, but Dallas was up 10-3, and then Brock Purdy and the 49ers went and scored 24 unanswered points between the end of the first half And in the third quarter, remember, Dallas went into halftime with a lead. They were led 10-6 at half. The Niners scored 3 touchdowns in the third quarter and were up 27-10. Final score 30-24 Niners.